Now, I want you to first watch this clip. It's no wonder people are confused at what to do for the neck. On the one hand, you have this.
The body's natural bioelectrical signals, supporting cellular activity within the skin, fascia, and muscles. This is the platysma, a thin, superficial neck muscle connected to lower facial movement.
So that's the platysma there. But what was that where she put the 2 electrodes on? That's EMS. That's actually stimulating the muscle to make it look stronger. The confusion? Watch this clip. So that's neuromodulator. Botox, Dysport, Letybo, Xeomin, whichever one you want. But what does that do? Paralyzes or slows down the movement of the muscle. So on the one hand, we had EMS, you should strengthen it. On the other, we have Botox, you should paralyze it. So which is it? It'll make sense today. And yes, today's protocol is at home to get your results at home. The 2-step neck protocol that I use for my clients. The good news, it's very affordable. So 70% of women over the age of 40 walking in ask me this, Doc, it's my neck. Because some of the best looking necks at age 30 become the quote unquote worst looking necks by age 55. This is exactly what I mean by that. Look at this picture here. You can see. And when I say worst looking, I'm quoting my patients. That's the exact expression they use to me. But I'm aware some of you are treating your necks at home with powerful devices. So let me start with a word of caution here. This is one I don't recommend that you do at home. For the lower neck, the region here in particular. Let's watch. See those marks? That's called RF microneedling. Yes, they're in clinic. You know, Morpheus, Potenza, Silpherm, all the different ones. They're great devices for sure, but a lot of people are getting this at home. You can buy them on the secondary market, or they're getting ones that are no-name brands. But the problem is, look where they're treating. It's not the device. They're treating RF microneedling, which goes to 67 degrees, so fat burning, on this region where we want the fat, because fat, it produces estrogen. So in clinic, if you have a great practitioner, fine, but please don't do this at home unless you're a superstar rock star and you're willing to sacrifice your precious lower facial fat. You know that crepiness you can get here? Well, that prematurely causes that. Now, I know what a lot of you are thinking. You're all asking, should you just get a surgical neck lift? Well, look at this.
Can we skip to the good part?
Fantastic, right? You all want to just skip to the good part. Well, a couple things. The majority of people, 99.99% of people, never get a neck or face surgical lift. And most people can't afford it. Most people don't want the risks and downtime. But here's the important thing you need to see.
Another thing I wish I had known prior to getting my lower facelift and neck lift, that at only 7 weeks post-op, I was going to have the loose skin reappear on my neck, which was the primary reason why I got this procedure. What is up with that?
You see, that's a thinner person. She probably is one of those I talked about in the beginning, already had a beautiful neck growing up and all of a sudden saw some loose skin, gets a facelift. Well, why is it that it's coming back after just weeks, the loose skin? It's not about just one thing. A facelift lifts up. I went through that on a live stream. You can watch the whole thing. But it does not address the skin. You remove the skin, you tighten it up. Sure, you tighten the bands. But the skin thinning, it stays thin. You didn't do that. You didn't change the nature of the skin with the facelift. Any redness, any sunspots, you didn't change that. So by nature, when you tighten skin around an area, unless you do everything else, the things that we're going to talk about today, your skin's just going to wrinkle again. And many of you, unfortunately, if you've had a facelift, you realize there's maintenance to that facelift to maintain the skin before you ever get a facelift and, of course, after. Now, many of you even have your own spa room at your house. I encourage you to do so. Start one for yourself. Start building yours with your own what I call smart technology. You'll see in a minute. But we have to realize 2026, everything, and I mean everything's going to be coming to the home, and this is beneficial because everything's deflationary. So meaning there's going to be more opportunity for you to have great devices in your home. Now, I know you're already doing some things at home. Before we get into the protocol, I want to look at a few of the most popular things you're doing already at home and comment on them. So we'll see, should you or should you not? Every week, there's a new neck hack. Let's take a look.
You can tighten your turkey neck with just 3 simple ingredients. No surgeries, no facelifts. Grab a bowl and add 1 ripe banana.
It starts with a banana, but you may have tried these and you saw the filter on there. Probably not going to work for where you're at if you're watching this video. Let's look at another. Actually, face tape, I like it, not just for the neck, but for the 11s when you sleep, or the forehead, because it avoids having to get Botox or toxin that so many of you are getting. Now, the neck tape, of course, there's limitations. Great to have hair so you can hide the tape. It's temporary and it doesn't work in all situations. But if you're on camera, this was done dozens and dozens of years ago in the 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s. So face tape, yes, I'm a proponent. It can work with limitations. Does not get to the root of the problem. Let's look at one more. Microblading or shaving. Exfoliation's key, but remember, the neck doesn't have a lot of oil glands. It's not going to work that well down there like it would on the cheeks or the facial region. Particularly, it will work better on the T-zone and the nose. Now, for rich people out there or people with access, I do want you to see this just before we go into your home protocol, because this is what people do in clinics if you own a clinic or people who are buying devices on the secondary market. And we're going to learn a lot from this. Check this out.
I am surfing on this beautiful Friday evening after hours. Zerf is the newest skin tightening and lifting device that's hit the US. It's been around for years internationally, specifically in Korea.
So you see, she's able to do that treatment for herself. Why can't you? I'll show you in a moment how you can. That's Zerf Monopolar RF. I know it well from Korea.
Here we go. All we need is an open.
Another one, that's HiFu, high intensity focused ultrasound. Similar to what like Ulthera might be, that's $4,500 for a single session. That person doing it to themselves, just like that, somewhere, maybe at home, maybe in a clinic. But you see, you can actually do it to yourself. Okay, and then you have another radio frequency style device. But my point here is everyone's doing it to themselves. Why not you? Face exercises. What do I think about that? That was an easy one. I actually like neck exercises and I have videos on this channel. And I think a lot of people get great results. Comment below. Some like this are a little complicated. Check this one out.
Grab that turkey neck, grab it, pull, tongue to the roof of your mouth. Make sure your shoulders are stacked over your ears. Keep pulling it all the way back. Keep it going. Keep going. Keep going.
So that back of the head stuff, that gets a little much. You can keep them simple and they can work. So what actually does make sense at home? What can we learn from that and take at home? Step number one, simple, controlled collagen stimulation. Deeper than what your current skincare is getting you. This is where people completely overcomplicate microneedling. It's not about deeper. It's not about bloodier. It's not, I survived a horror movie style microneedling. You want to use derma rolling rather for absorption and skin signaling. Not deeper is better. I actually like shallow rolling, around 0.25 millimeter to 0.5 millimeter. In fact, the one I and my clients use is only 0.25 millimeters in depth. It's called skin signaling. And please keep in mind, if something is touching open channels in your skin, sterility does matter. You got to use quality tools here, and they should come packaged and sealed like you would almost from an operating room. Reputable. These are needles, tiny, yeah, but nonetheless needles. And please, one more thing, whatever serum you use, make sure it's manufactured for standards of derma rolling and microneedling. This is not the time for mystery Amazon juice mixed in someone's bathtub. I know, I'm going to get a huge kickback here from the comments section. Check it out, you'll see. People think deeper is automatically meaning better. That's like saying if one espresso works, 14 should be fantastic. I'll stick with my drip. And it's also why I'll place an RF microneedling, radio frequency microneedling video at the end of this one to show you exactly why more does not always mean better. I see patients coming in thinking the same thing with derma rolling, deeper is better, and they get PIH, post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, and scarring. All unnecessary. So don't buy into the story that you need to go deep. As you know, I talk about the same thing with red light. Everyone wants more power in their bulbs, more red light. It's the same mistake with red light. You don't need more power. You need distribution and the right wavelengths. Enough said on that one. More does not mean better necessarily, and many of you know that firsthand, unfortunately. Comment below. And rollers versus stamps? Well, I like stamps, sure, but up to 1 millimeter, you want to use a roller. If you're really going deep, then yes, stamps or micropens are better, but the derma roller is easier, up to 1 millimeter, and definitely 0.25, use a derma roller. I've got complete videos on this and even a free course for those who wish. So, for signaling, we use a roller. The goal isn't to punish your neck, it's controlled stimulation. Plasmasomes, as a slip, for example, are non-human based exosome signals. And the signals tell the skin what? Build collagen and collagen bumping. The upside of traditional exosomes without the downsides of who did they come from? That's the most asked question with exosomes. Remember, plasmasomes are made in the USA in a lab. They don't come from other people or contain DNA or RNA like exosomes can. So, derma rolling 0.25 millimeters with a slip that you wish, and if you can't afford or don't want to slip, you can use dry derma rolling. I do have videos on that. But now that we have upregulation of the building factors, we need one more step, and that's deeper structural support for your neck. How do we get that? It's step number 2. What we want to do here is denature the proteins to invoke a healing response. In clinic style power for the masses, for the people. Controlled heat with controlled healing. That uses your own body's natural healing mechanisms, but again, we're just bumping it up. Your own body to help support its fat and skin. That's what we like, natural. Clinic style collagen stimulation for real people, but without the clinic. Now here's where I think we go wrong again. When you're thinking about this step, more heat is not always more youth. Yeah, in clinic, I use 67 degrees Celsius to burn things in clinic, but only targeted areas like the submentum or the downturned mouth right here, the jowls. You can burn your fat away. Fine. That's not what we're doing today. Not here. What we're talking about here is the lower neck and submentum tightening and helping your fat pads. Remember that tight neck at 30 we talked about in the beginning, now aged at 55? That age is because the fat is gone. And deep, hot RF or deep ultrasound heating risks getting rid of that. Today you can use that same style. You want bipolar radio frequency at home with temperature control and shut-off system, so when it gets to a temperature that's going to harm your fat, the device shuts off. Now, remember I said deflationary? So if you research the newer device, for example, you'll see a fascinatingly similar look to the in-clinic device from Endymed. Look at the tip of the in-clinic device here and look at the one for at home here. Very, very similar, right? And the one at home has built-in safety to protect your fat while denaturing the collagen and proteins to heal up and build more, with some FDA clearance studies behind it. And no, we're not all rich. We don't all have in-clinic $100,000 platforms. That's what the ones I showed you people were using. They typically cost $70,000 to $150,000, like the ones in the beginning of the video. The good news, the playing field has leveled. This is the closest thing to in clinic. And in some ways, it's better because you don't have to leave. You don't have to go to a clinic. It has the FDA studies behind it that you can look up. But most people need something realistic they can actually do consistently at home when time permits, not $500 a pop. Part of your skincare routine. I want you to comment below, what do you pay for your in-clinic radiofrequency or ultrasound sessions? You'll see it's about $500 to $4,500. And the at-home devices you're going to use, they have no consumable, meaning you can use them as many times as you need, but you don't need to use it more than 2 to 4 times a week. The best necks are usually not the most aggressively treated. They're the most consistently maintained. Small stimulation, better circulation, control collagen, protect the fat, protect the structure, stay consistent. That's the real neck tightening protocol. Now here's that video I promised you on RF microneedling, one down here on microneedling, stamps versus pens versus derma rollers, and one here on exactly how to use an at-home heating device. And of course, in the more info section below this video, I gave the link to my free course. So if you want to take a free course on microneedling, it's there for you to keep your skin and body beautiful, healthy, and vibrant.